that's what I love about Akron soccer is you look at the roster, all these countries, and then you get like a Hinckley,
Right.
or Canfield.
I mean,
it's just so cool that there's this coming together of these cultures.
This school's a soccer school.
Yeah.
It's always been a soccer school. It's what kept me here for 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm a soccer guy. Like I like other sports, but like if you told me I could never watch basketball again, I'm not losing sleep at all. That's just real. I know I like our basketball teams.
Yeah.
But I'm never watching NBA ever.
Yeah.
You know, and I won't watch a Kentucky basketball.
Okay.
My affiliation with soccer, Kentucky is just not there.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
So sport, I've always been a soccer person. It's kept me at this school.
Yeah.
It's a soccer school.
Yeah.
I knew from the day I got here, and I used to come to camp and work here. And then when Jared offered me a job, I came. It's like soccer school. See you later.
Yeah. Welcome to Zips Nation Insider. My name is Jacob Farrar, back with another episode after taking a week off to celebrate Thanksgiving. We're back with another episode here of Zips Nation Insider, and we're excited just from the timeliness of our guest. We have associate head coach of the Zips men's soccer team, Ger Coppinger. Ger is here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Associate head coach of the team. You've been here since 2014.
2015.
2015.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually celebrating 10 years with the school today at our 10-year anniversary gathering that we're doing. So,
Got it.
I came in March 2015.
2015. Well, congratulations on that. Obviously, we want to get into kind of scouting out for the big game this weekend. But before we get into that, I want to learn a little bit more about you. I just assume if you're coming from Europe, you grew up playing soccer. That's just the assumption that I make. Anyone that I know. So for you, what's your earliest soccer memory of playing?
I got forced to play, to be honest. It was when I was 3, my sister was in Irish dancing.
Okay.
She was traveling all over the country for her feshes, her events, and it was my mom took her to her events, and I went to watch Shamrock Rovers with my dad, and this is what you're doing, and you wear green and white, and you're a soccer fan. So that was it. And then I started playing when I was about 4. I played U8s at 4 years old.
Oh wow! And U8 at 4 years old.
Yeah.
Goalie?
No, I was played on the field.
Okay.
I was about 14 or 15, something like that. And then and then it was what it was. And honestly, if you grow up and don't play, you don't have many friends.
Got it.
So it was on our street. We'd have street leagues. We'd play against like other roads and other neighborhoods, and it was street soccer. So it was not jumpers for goalposts, old school. No fouls, no referees. It was get stuck in and
there you
do
go.
your thing.
There you go. So
I've played since I was 4 years old.
4 years old. Yeah. And then at some point made the transition. Obviously, you played. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. For those that may know a little bit of your background, obviously you played here in the United States. But talk about that, coming to the United States, playing, and then ultimately showing up here on campus at the University of Akron.
Yeah, I was kind of going through a crossroads in my life at like 17, and actually my sister's friend was playing at Missouri Baptist, and he came over to our house like, why don't you just come with me? And he was going into his senior year, and I was like, it's not really possible. And then, actually, Jared Embick sent me an email, said Joe brought you up, and this was before WhatsApp, and also it was emails, and all of a sudden then it's gone from being absolutely nothing to me and an embassy appointment going to America. And honestly, the day I got here, I knew it was never going home.
Yeah.
It was me. I was set of staying, finding a way to stay in the game somehow. And it wasn't going through college thinking about, how can I be a professional? It was going through college thinking of, I'd love that job. I'd love to be a coach. I'd love to continue in the game. And I like to think I've been around it just so long that it was something I felt like I could give back. And, whether that was with kids, which was fine at the time. I was coaching as a sophomore, 19-year-old sophomore, I was coaching the U17 local team.
Okay.
And, the boys were all bigger than me. And it was a great learning experience for me. And I realized then, actually did it with my friend Ian Henry at the time, and I realized then that, okay, this is what I want to do.
So coaching
that was it.
Now, growing up, did you think about coaching, or is it just wasn't when you got that bug kind of coming over here?
Over here helped.
Yeah.
Really, there's, as silly as it sounds, it's very hard to make a living on it in Europe.
Okay.
it's easier maybe to get licenses and things like that, but to earn a living, it's really difficult. So you don't ever really think, okay, I want to be a coach.
Got it.
When I came over here, the opportunity of being able to coach that U17 team really was like, okay, I can make use of this. And that was really the start of, okay, this is what I want to do the rest of my life.
Got it.
I always knew I wanted to be in the game, but how do you stay in the game is the hardest.
Sure.
You know, it's not something a 19-year-old should be thinking about. They should be enjoying their college experience and you know, enjoying playing games under the lights with referees and stuff, because once that stops, it stops.
Yeah.
You know, then it's a different experience then. But yeah, I never really thought about coaching until that team, and that was the first point that I thought, okay, I'd love to do this forever.
And then obviously the coach with, you mentioned Coach Hembeck. He was a coach your freshman year, helped kind of get you to the United States.
Yep.
How did the opportunity then come for you to be here on campus?
My last year at Missouri Baptist, where I played, I had an extra semester to graduate, and I helped train the goalies at that school for my old team. And I got invited to work Akron soccer camps and came, and I kind of just, like, I didn't really understand the difference between my NAIA and Division I was like night and day. And when I got here, I was like, wow, this is. I remember thinking when Jared came here, leaving our MOBAP team that were really good and, you know, had an opportunity to potentially win a national title at NAI. And when he said he was taking an assistant job at Akron, I remember the team just thinking, man, that's so selfish. We were ready to win.
Oh, wow.
And then when I got here for camp, I was like, okay, not so selfish. This was
very strategic on his part.
Yeah, correct. And he definitely knew what he was doing in his life. And so when I came to work Akron camp, it was, you know, at camp, I was representing Missouri State at the time, actually, my old school. And it was, you know, man, I could work here. And then that opportunity became available when Jared was the head coach, and I didn't think twice about it.
Got it.
That was me. I was ready to go.
So from those coaching stops, Missouri Baptist, you mentioned Missouri State, what are some of the valuable lessons you learned in that process?
You know, Missouri State, it was we had 3 on staff, and it was, you know, you have to fundraise to have a program the next year. So there was all facets of a program that you had to, you know, that I had to engross myself in. It was, you know, on the field I was mainly the goalkeeping coach, and off the field it was a little bit of, you know, player engagement and whatnot. And then it was, you know, the spring for me was about raising money with the head coach and finding a way to you know, make 40-50 grand and you know, keep the program afloat.
Sure.
So I had to, you know, I would say that the first part of my morning was with the head coach, doing all off the field stuff, and then when training happened onwards, it was with the associate head coach, Michael Seabold, and he was all soccer. So it was kind of, I did everything at that program, and then that kind of, when I came here, I wouldn't say I did less here. I did the same amount of work with just less jobs. So it was interesting, but I felt like it gave me a great step to learning what it might be to be a head coach.
Sure.
You know,
I was just going to ask that. So is there a goal for that? Is that,
you know, you never say never, but like I'm not here thinking, you know,
when's my turn?
Correct.
Got it.
I think that turn could have happened if I wanted it to, but you know, Akron is a soccer school, and I know we can win here, and that's what's kept me here. So, you know, and we've been close since I've been here, and we've not done it yet. So, you know, why leave now?
Yeah.
You know?
So, you know, again, you've been here 2015, 10 years, a decade of awesome moments, highs, lows. Is it even fair to ask you what your proudest moment is? I'm sure there's a whole bunch of them.
We've had a lot. There's one that I remember thinking, okay, this is big time. In 2015, we played Creighton at home in the Elite Eight.
Okay.
And went to overtime. It was. I remember scouting the game and saying, "Wow, Creighton are a really good team, a really, really good team." And we had a good team at the time too. So that wasn't. But I was thinking this is going to be a high-level soccer game. And I remember coaching the game, and it was all just a flash. It was an unbelievable soccer game. We scored a winning goal. Adam Najam scored a free kick in overtime to win, to go to our first Final Four since I've been here. And that was just a moment. I remember I got in my car and I was like, wow, this is amazing. You know, I think there was probably 5,000-6,000 at the game. Everyone stormed the field after the game. You know, negative 10 degrees and no one has shirts on at the end. It was insane.
That was your first year too. What an introduction to Akron soccer.
I remember, don't think this is happening every year. That was my first thought.
Yeah.
But it was that was amazing. And we knew we had a team that could win it. That team could have won it.
Sure.
We lost to Stanford team in the semi-final. That went on to win the final pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
And we kind of knew that was the final. It was the Stanford game. So that was, I wouldn't say it's my proudest moment, but I remember, thinking that was the first one that I knew, like, okay, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I still think about that day all the time.
Oh, I can imagine. So let's talk a little bit about this year, right? So we're near the end. Hopefully we have a few weeks of soccer left.
Yeah.
That's the goal. But before we get into kind of your thoughts on this season, can you think about the offseason and think about at what point did you think this team was special? Was there a place or a time where you thought, I think we got something here?
I think it's always good when a coach, you think it's special because you see it first.
Yeah.
Right? So you see it happening in front of your eyes. We lost a really good class last year of players that people thought were irreplaceable.
Sure.
And like
the number one goal scorer in the country.
Right. And we all knew there wasn't going to be a new Emile.
Yeah.
It's hard to expect anybody to come in and score 23 goals. It's never happened in my college career before that anyone's had a 23 goal score. So expecting it again is unrealistic. And Jared told the team that day one of spring is like, we're not expecting these guys to score 29 goals. It's how can we get 7 from somewhere else, 7 from somewhere else. And it's turned out that's the way it's needed to be for us. But to know when this group was special, I think in the spring, we realized that this group really liked training. And we've had some good teams that didn't enjoy training as much. I mean, it is what it is. This team enjoys training. They enjoy being pushed.
Got it.
To the point of where, you push them to where they're learning and you're grinding them and you're making them work hard and then you're reeling them in with it's game time now. You're prepared. You're ready to go.
Sure.
And this group has been really, really good for that.
Oh, that's great to hear.
So, the special is within, it's not within one. Which in the past, maybe you've had a special player that was able to pull you through. And that's not saying there isn't special guys in this team, but it's a special collective, and it's been that since day one.
Yeah.
So I think in the spring last year when we had the players out, players in, guys like Dara coming into a bigger role in the team, who played second fiddle to Beto and Jonas last year, and he's embraced that amazingly.
Sure.
We've had mainstays, Ashton and Mitch, but yeah, we've had many guys. Caleb stepped up, and Remy has stepped up, and Stefan has been a 4-year guy at Akron that people might not have had on scout reports, and now people are terrified of him. We knew he was a good player for 4 years, but others didn't. So I think it's definitely a collective.
Well, then also another name I went through as those names. One name you didn't mention, the guy in goal, Mitch Budler. I mean, he is. You talk about the team special as well. So one thing I was looking at this year. So again, my non-expert eyes. So I'm not the resident expert of the team. But one thing that stood out to me of the 17 possible positive outcomes, so 13 wins, 4 ties, 13 of those have been clean sheets. Mm-hmm. That's an amazing statistic.
It is.
Obviously, it's more than just the guy in goal, but he helps. But you have the back line, and Dara, you talked about Dara, just that back line. But talk about Mitch for a second. Coach preseason called him the best goalie in the country. What you've worked with him for 4 years now?
Yep.
4 years now. Of anyone that can tell us about Mitch Budler, it's probably you. Just talk about him and goal and what that brings to the team, the rest of the team, knowing that he's behind them.
So I'll go back to when I started recruiting Mitch. He had some looks he was playing with Philadelphia Union 2 at the time in the USL, and honestly, he self-admits now that he was in a position where he shouldn't have been the guy in goal in that team. He was a little young and a little inexperienced, and people were telling him maybe college wasn't for him. And one day I had a conversation where I said, I promise you, make your dreams come true at Akron. Yeah. And we had an unbelievable goalkeeping pod at that time. Will Meyer was an excellent goalie for us. We had 2 backups. Cam Victor was a 3-year starter at SMU when he left, and then Josu Hangi was a 2-year starter at Georgia State, and Mitch was in that pod as well.
Yeah.
So I knew I had a good goalkeeping group. In the spring, after we lost Will to the pros, we had 7 spring games, and our plan with Jared was to play each goalie Cam 2, Joshua 2, and Mitch 2, and then the one we felt was ready was going to get the extra.
Everyone's going to get an audition,
correct,
so to speak.
And Mitch won the extra. And I knew he was good then, but sometimes you're afraid to put it all out there to the head coach and say, listen, this guy is special. But he'd been training. He's an animal when it comes to training. In the weight room, he kills it. Training every day, you have to reel him in a little bit. And then when he got his opportunity in goal, he obviously makes plays. The guy makes saves. That's most important. And he's got a presence now in the goal that opposition are afraid of him, which is the best way it is.
Sure.
And he's still making plays for us, 3 years later. This team has more shutouts. He probably made more saves last year.
Oh, interesting.
So it's and he's still ready to make them. Hopefully for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, sure.
Previous goalie we had, Ben Lunt, that plays at St. Louis City St. Louis City now, first team, and he's the backup there. And he, when it came to tournament time, he got good and got his opportunity by getting good.
Yeah.
Mitch can go again. He can get better. And he'll play beyond Akron, and I'll be his biggest fan. And I hope somebody else can get even more out of him.
Yeah.
But he's still training hard for me 4 years later.
That's awesome.
Can't ask for more than that.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. So we have a big match this weekend. Just in general, when it comes to scouting out teams, what's your preparation like? Is a lot of film? I mean, I'm assuming there's film on St. Louis. Plus, they played here.
Right.
So you have that first. They're in the Big East, so you know them. What's kind of your process, so to speak, to breaking down a tough opponent?
No, I think when you have the week, you obviously can do more.
Sure.
So, as weird as it sounds, we'll be more prepared for this game than maybe the previous game when we were playing 3 games in a week.
Sure.
But having played them live, and when you watch someone live, it's always easier to get an idea what they are. But SLU have changed a little bit since then. They do something different, and they're not going to come here and roll over 3-0 again. It's going to be a hard game.
Yeah.
But in terms of preparation, I mean, the guys are off today. We'll start tomorrow with implementing the game plan a little bit, and then we'll start with some video, and we'll take it to the field, and it will kind of just be a build-up then until Saturday morning when you feel like the guys are ready. They'll all have their individual player scouts that they'll be able to look at and know hopefully what the opposition are going to do, and then we'll do a team scout that will, give them an idea of general SLU plan and go from there.
Got it.
But with a week, you always feel it's funny. Somebody said, I can't remember who it was on campus, said to me, he says, don't give Embick a week. It might have been Chad, actually. Was it you, Chad? He said, don't give Embick a week, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So, and it's always been like that for us since we got here.
Yeah.
Once you get beyond the first, the kind of Thursday, Sunday bye week, once you get beyond that week, don't give the Zips a week. We're dangerous then.
We'll pick you apart and figure out the weaknesses.
Correct. So,
well, let's talk a little bit about their strengths. What are their strengths? What are the things that you guys are...
About SLU strengths?
Yeah.
They're a real tough team. They're a tough team and well coached.
Yeah.
We actually have a really good relationship with the staff. Jared grew up with the head coach.
And he's from the St. Louis area, obviously.
Actually, the assistant coach at SLU was officiated my wedding. Oh, wow. So he's one of my best friends. And I coached him.
There's some personal connection.
And I coached him at Missouri State too.
Okay.
So he's become a good friend, Jack Robertson. He texted me when the draw came out, and they weren't 100% sure they were in at the time. I think they were kind of sure, but weren't sure. And then he said, "I'll see you in the Elite Eight," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it. We'll be at home." Just the way it was. So, and it's come to that. So, no, there's definitely some personal friendships within the game as well. But yeah, no, they're a well coached team. They're tough. And they have a lot of guys from St. Louis that obviously play for the badge and things like that. And like I said, it could be a curse that you played them already, so they know what we're good at. They're not going to come here and think, and a lot of teams have come here and thought, man, I'm not sure how Akron are winning. I don't think they're very good. And then they leave the game thinking, wow, they're really good.
Yeah. They know the caliber that Akron plays.
Correct. And we won't be catching them with that this time, you know. And I'm not saying they underestimated us the first time, but teams have come here and thought, they're not very good, and we send them home.
Yeah.
So you're not getting that. So, they have, I think the thing that they hold well is the tradition of their program and guys from St. Louis playing for SLU, and that's kind of,
got it.
one thing that they'll take with them.
So you've mentioned, we talked about this, you've been here 10 years, a lot of players have come through. What is one lesson that you want a player to come through the program to think about with after they leave? Like what's the one thing you want them to reflect back on as they either go play, continue to play, because we've had a history of players continuing on,
Right.
but also, maybe even in their professional life. What's that one thing you want them to take away from their time at Akron?
I think for me, my role within staff and within the team is they leave and they want to be like your friend.
Got it.
And that can come with, staying in touch weekly, daily, whatever it is. We've had many guys come through that I still talk to, and then we've had guys to come through, and the day they leave, they don't say a word to you ever again, and you spend a ton of time with these guys, more than I do.
More than probably your significant other.
Correct. It's definitely over the weeks of national tournament time.
Yeah.
There's no doubt you're spending more time with the guys than with anyone else, and I think for me it's. Still talking to guys like Sammy Tayaga and Joey Paulus, Ben Lunt, Richie Leray, guys like that. For me is that part is huge for me. It's about maintaining them as people in your life that you've spent so much time with. And listen, don't get me wrong, winning with guys is important.
Yeah.
You always remember the guys you win with.
Sure.
That's just
winning
the reality.
Is fun.
Of it. Correct. It's I spoke about Adam Najim's goal in 2015. We saw Naj came to 2 games this fall when we were in New Jersey, and it was great to see him again. And the first thing we talked about was the free kick that went top corner. It's still the first thing I remember. It's when I see Ben Lunt, the first thing we talk about is the 2 saves at Wake Forest. In the Sweet 16 game that put us to play Stanford. So it's definitely easier to speak to guys when you win with them. But for me, that's like the one thing when they leave, I want them to think like, man, if I need some help, you can call me and still have a friendship and relationship with. So
got it. We're here with Ger Coppinger, associate head coach of the Zips men's soccer team. So, Coach, one of the things we like to ask our guests, we want to reflect on kind of their hometown where they grew up. And so we ask a question about hometown pizza. So if we're going to your hometown now. Dublin, I don't know if pizza culture in Dublin. I don't know. Dara was pretty high on pizza culture in Ireland.
Okay, I would be too.
So for you, if we're going to visit you in your hometown in Dublin, where are we going to get pizza?
I would go to Apache Pizza. I would say
Pizza.
It's downtown. It's in the Village of Swords.
Okay.
So that would be when I go home, I always get Apache with my friend Dave.
Okay.
It's like one thing we just do. Okay. If you only get a day, we're getting some pizza.
Okay.
And whether it's at his house or whatever. So I would say Apache Pizza.
And what's your order? What kind of pizza? What are you getting?
Oh man, I can do anything on a pizza really.
I think Dara said corn or egg or something. I can't.
No,
he said something.
I would do. I would do like a ham, pepperoni, and corn. No problem. Yeah.
Corn.
Yeah.
There you go.
I could do that.
Now, your time in Missouri, did you get into St. Louis style with that Provel cheese? Did you get into that at all?
Yeah, but I lived very frugally in St. Louis, so pizza was on the team bus, and that was about it. So
it was a luxury item.
Correct.
Okay, so the other question we always ask in men's soccer is, you guys are the top of this, is about pregame superstitions.
Okay.
It's stuff of legend, what you guys. So I want to get your thoughts. We've had Coach Embick twice. He's talked about.
He's too much. Too much superstition.
So do you share some of those, or are you a little bit toned down?
I know his. I would say I had a pair of boxer shorts I wore from 2015 to 2018.
Okay.
Which was in a successful time. That they came everywhere with me. And honestly, they just wore. They're 4 years old. They needed replaced and got replaced. And sometimes I thought it was the boxers that was stopping us winning for a while. But it was. But this year I've actually purposely don't
try to stay away from.
Yeah.
So So Coach talks about the receipts. The receipts have to end in a certain thing.
Yeah, it's too much for me.
There's also the pre-match nerds gummy clusters.
Okay.
Is that still? I mean, those are.
Mike and I would. Mike Nanshoff and I will walk to Speedway after our pre-game meal. We'll walk to Speedway and I'll get some high chews, but that's more because I need some candy when I'm doing my prep. Then.
But it's not a super. It sounds like probably borderline.
It's more routine and superstitious.
Got it.
If I'm on the road and I don't get them, I'm okay.
You're okay.
Sean Palchik has started throwing some candy our way at game time. That's helped win us a few games too.
Got it.
We'll go with that.
But the boxer shorts, you've gone away from.
Gone away from the boxer shorts.
Okay, well that's good. That's good to hear. Good to hear. All right, this is our rapid fire segment.
Okay.
So these are first thing that pops into your mind.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you watch professional soccer?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite team? What's your favorite?
Shamrock Rovers.
Shamrock Rovers.
Rovers.
Yeah. Okay. In Dublin, a Dublin team? Okay. Other than soccer, what is your favorite sport to watch?
NFL.
NFL. Do you have a team? I mean,
I follow the Browns.
the Browns, okay.
I know it's quick fire, but the 2019-2020 Akron team made me watch the Browns. It was all they talked about, so I was like, I'm getting involved. So,
Have you been to a game?
I've been to a couple, yeah.
Okay, okay. Toughest opposing atmosphere you've ever coached in?
Maryland away, 2015. We beat them 3-2.
Okay.
It was about 7,000 people at the game, and yeah, it was awesome.
So this is gonna be a tough question, but I'm gonna put it out there. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of goalkeepers?
Oof. Wow.
So your 4 favorite goalkeepers
I would say
of all time, not just here at Akron. Just
okay. Irish legend Packy Bonner.
okay.
Don't meet your heroes though. He's not a good bloke. He's an excellent goalkeeper, but not the guy I wanted him to be when I met him. He made me like goalkeeping, so he has to be on it.
Yeah, he has to be on there.
Gigi Buffon.
Okay. Italy.
Man. It's tough.
Is it because there's so many, or is it just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say Jan Oblak.
Okay.
Which might be one that some people don't agree with, and then I'll go with Shay Given.
Okay. Favorite snack from Ireland that you miss?
Oh, my mom brings me over. My mom and dad bring me over penguins.
Penguins.
They're called penguins, little chocolate bars.
Chocolate bars. Okay.
They have to come.
They have to come. Favorite snack in the U.S.?
Probably high chews.
High chews.
Yeah,
Okay.
can't get them at home.
Okay. Do you have a hidden talent outside of soccer?
I play video games.
What one word would you use to describe this year's team?
This year's team?
Yeah.
Urgent.
Urgent. It's an interesting one. That's a good one. I like that. And I think I asked Coach this next one. I think I asked Coach this when he was on this season. Is there a professional athlete, either past or present, that did not play soccer professionally that you think would be a good soccer player?
Wow. I can't think of one. To be honest.
I can't remember who we talked about Allen Iverson.
Okay.
And Allen Iverson, I'm familiar with his.
Yeah, I know who Allen Iverson is, but
He played soccer in high school. Actually had, if I remember right, had a scholarship to play soccer. Chose basketball.
Okay.
Went to Georgetown. But I've heard that he would have been a fantastic. I don't know, but it's a tough question. But again,
there's got to be some rugby players or something in
Sure. Well, I've also felt, University of Akron football teams sometimes have had issues with their kicking team. That I feel like there's got to be someone on the soccer team that can. Has anyone ever been asked?
I get asked all the time.
You do get asked
Yeah.
by the coaching staff?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. The problem is the guy they want, I can't give them.
Okay.
So, because they've singled a guy out. So yeah, you're not having him. So maybe for a 50-year, maybe for them, but not right now.
That's a hot take on that. Because it's been discussed amongst the fans. Mm-hmm. When there's been football field goal woes, there's got to be a kicker. There's got to be a soccer player. Interesting that you've been asked.
And then there's obviously some NFL guys. I know the one guy played at Central Arkansas. And does he kick for the Lions? What's his name? Bates? Who's Bates kick for? When in Central Arkansas, I played against him. Okay. He could kick it for sure. He could, and he's in the NFL.
Well, you start seeing the rugby style is coming into punters,
right?
So I mean, you're starting to see that. But I think it's interesting because again, it's been talked about. There's got to be some player on the soccer team, but at least it's been interesting that you've been asked. You guys have been asked by the interesting. Okay, so we've had Coach Ger Coppinger, men's soccer team. Last question, Coach. Why should Zips Nation come out to the game on Saturday? Why should we fill the hill?
This team has been amazing all year. We're at a stage now when the fans have been carrying us through the last 2 games in the cold, and we need one more to get us to Final Four, and then it's up to us to get it done from there. But one more game, fill the hill, get some fans out there. This team's going to work their asses off, and they deserve it.
I think it's going to be a little bit warmer too than last Sunday.
Right.
So again, and students are free. Students free ticket.
Students are
so
free.
let's go Zips Nation. Thank you, Coach, so much for being here. Appreciate your time. I know this is a big week for you guys. Got a big match, so I appreciate you taking some time out to come talk with us on Zips
Appreciate
Nation
it.
Insider.
Thank you.
you.